So, today we're celebrating our 300th episode! Technically more like 270 something because my YouTube channel counts shorts as well, and I don't know how to differentiate. I'm not counting every single one individually, so I'm just counting the shorts that I did as well. So I've done 300 episodes, and today we're kind of celebrating no urgent news that needs to be done for a Console Wars podcast, but we're celebrating, and since we're celebrating, it's time to enjoy the Console Wars podcast today. We are going over Xbox currently being in trouble again. What else is new? A terrible game adaptation is finally dead. I'm going to revel in that. Ubisoft's in trouble. I'm going to revel in that as well. Sweet Baby Games, or Sweet Baby Inc., I forget what the last part is dying a long, slow, painful death, and I am here to cheer it on. And then Liveservice is dying. I'm here to cheer that on as well. And I think I know why Microsoft closed Tango Gameworks. I'll get into that in a little bit. Followed by apparently an additional new Alien video game is on the way. And I'm also going to be talking about my plans for the new Alien Romulus film, plus new Alien content coming for the channel. That is the list of stories for tonight on the Console Wars podcast. And yes, you're probably noticing right here and here the lighting situation. I have a light here so that I'm not in a dark room, so just try not to pay attention to the two eyes in my sunglasses. But real quick, Console Wars podcast, another chance to remind you guys about the Xbox One S that we are giving away on the channel. It also has an additional battery pack. They don't sell these battery pack add-ons anymore. These are really reliable batteries. They charge quick. The only reason why I'm adding it with this is it doesn't hook up to anything else of mine. So I might as well give it with the Xbox One S. I've yet to come up with a controller for it, so if you do win it, you will have to provide your own controller or get one before you reach it. So just FYI. And how this contest is working, if you're new to the channel, is basically all you have to do is like, subscribe, and share any one of the videos on the channel, and then direct contact us on Facebook or Twix, what I like to call Twitter or X. I just combine the two and call it Twix. I'm trying to make that a thing, and I'm not going to stop trying to make that a thing. But you just direct contact us on one of those two and say, hey, I would like to be entered for the giveaway. And you'll be entered in for the giveaway. And just keep in mind, the giveaway ends at 1,020 subscribers. We are currently at 774 subscribers, so we are almost there. We are just, what was it? I don't feel like doing math right now. We're almost there. We're under 300 away. And, yeah, that's all you have to do. And if you want to just direct contact us and not do any of that other stuff, that's fine. But if you don't do that other stuff, like liking and sharing and subscribing, then it's going to be even longer before the contest closes. And that means more competition for you. So if you want there to be less competition, do that boring stuff that you don't feel like doing. But anyway, so yeah, that's the giveaway. And as I've said in previous videos talking about the giveaway, for some weird reason, I can't get 4K movies to work on the game system. Blu-ray discs work perfectly fine, and I have no problems getting Xbox 360 or Xbox One games to work on it. It doesn't like loading original Xbox or 4K movies. So if that's a big no-no for you, I understand, but it'll play Xbox One games, no problem, and you can live, stream, Series X games if you have xCloud on this thing. So, there's still plenty of things you can do, and plus, you might be able to fix those issues. I just haven't had the time to work on it. So, anyway, with that being said, let's get on to the stories of the day. And yes, Xbox is in trouble again. Apparently, the Xbox. Okay, so the story is, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me fill you guys in on the story. So basically, Xbox bought out Activision. It's one of the largest mergers in the history of mergers. $70 billion they almost spent on this merger. I don't want anyone knowing the current time at where I'm at. So $70 billion they almost spent on this merger. It was like 67, something like that. And they got brought to court with the FTC and like a lot of places around the world. Like there was all kinds of in court in Europe, England, and like there were a few times it was looking like Xbox wasn't going to be able to get this merger to happen because like England refused it, saying no, you have a monopoly, and Microsoft made certain promises that finally got all of these like FTC groups in England and all these other groups to agree, fine, the merger can go through. And then it finally became official. And one of the promises was Xbox said, we're not going to raise prices if this merger goes through. And what does Microsoft do? The dumb shits, they decide to raise the price of Game Pass a few months after the merger goes through. And so the FTC is now like saying we're going to investigate Xbox because they lied to us. Microsoft's like, hold on, no, we're still offering the same great value, but it's a mess. And like Microsoft, they kind of shot themselves in the foot. And the problem is they raise price on every tier. I would see Microsoft's argument if they made like 2 lower tier prices that were super cheap, and like one of those is like you get 1 new game for every 3 months or something like that, so that you're still be able to get a new game if you want, but you don't get all day one passes unless you get the more expensive tier. I could see them getting away with that, but no, they just increase the price on everything. And like with the lowest, cheapest tier that basically just lets you play online, that should have been like dropped to $5 because you're getting nothing with that. It's literally just being able to have the privilege of playing online with your friends. I don't even think you get Game Pass with it, and they raised that shit. And it's like, yeah, no, they should have lowered that, and they should have had the standard much cheaper. I get them raising the prices on the one that offered day one releases. I totally get that. And I think they could have got away with that, but they got greedy. And so, yeah, we'll see how it plays out for them. That's a bold strategy, God. Let's see how it plays out for them. Now, in other news, a terrible, terrible game adaptation is finally dead. The Halo TV show was canceled by Paramount Plus after 2 seasons. Xbox will reportedly seek another outlet for a 3rd season. Yeah, I don't see that happening because season 2 was awful. There were aspects to... I did a video on this. It's like 40 minutes long. I'll leave the link down in the description for season 1 and season 2 of my review on the Halo series. And first one is like both these reviews are just me flat out shitting all over these shows because I love the Halo video games. Like, the stories in those games were outstanding, and the show just butchered it. Absolutely butchered it to a horrific degree. Yeah, they slaughtered the lore and the canon of the original games. And like season 2, they spoil the surprise of Halo in the worst way possible. And they completely break the canon. And it's just like I said, if you are all interested in experiencing Halo, do not watch season 2. because they just ruined the surprise of Halo. And after season 2, it's like there's no way they can salvage this show. They permanently ruined it. After season 1, it's like, okay, there's a chance they could salvage it in season 2, and like the beginning of season 2 was kind of promising, but no, they ruined it. They regulated the Fall of Reach to 1 episode because they didn't have the budget. They had all these useless plot lines, and like just I had a smile of joy when I heard that this terrible show was canceled, because it just ruined the incredible lore of the original game. And it didn't help that like the crew was saying, oh yeah, we went out of our way to not look at any of the games. We didn't look at any of the cutscenes. We didn't play the games. We wanted this to be as different as humanly possible. Gee, I can't possibly imagine why the show failed. I mean, you know, I can't possibly figure out that. I mean, that's a stumper right there. So I say good riddance. And you know, there's a reason why people love the Fallout TV show, because it was like, hey, we're making this canon, so we made sure that we didn't screw up anything too bad. And even though some of the things that like some diehard fans are saying they screwed up really bad, I've heard some reasonable arguments that's like, no, we didn't actually screw it up. It's a hell of a lot better than Halo, okay? So at least with Fallout, it feels like they gave 30% of a shit instead of Halo just giving absolute 0% of a shit, you know? And then next, like, apparently Ubisoft is in some serious trouble because of 2 things. 1, Assassin's Creed Shadow, and 2, Star Wars Outlaws, which are the only 2 games coming out this year. Star Wars Outlaws, just like, okay, both these games are getting kind of like the Rings of Power treatment. Basically, when that show came out, like Amazon was saying, oh, Rings of Power is like the most anticipated show ever created, and like we're seeing nothing but good fanfare, and yet every single trailer was ratioed on YouTube, like insanely high. And then when the show came out, it was like, yeah, that wasn't a good show. And like same thing's happening with like this, like Ubisoft say like, oh, these are the 2 most anticipated video games in the history of mankind. Like we've never seen the anticipation that we've seen for any other game, and yet both these games, their trailers, are getting ratioed to like hell and high water. Okay, and so like Star Wars Outlaws, I'm not interested in it simply because if I never play as a Han Solo type smuggler ever again, it'll be too soon. Because like every single game for the past couple of years, I'm playing as a Han Solo type smuggler. And when they announced that they were doing an open world Star Wars game, it's like, okay, that sounds awesome. And like they finally announced it, it's like, but you get to play as a Han Solo type smuggler. And it's like, I'm out. I'm done playing as Han Solo type smugglers. I'm sick and tired of it. I want to play as a Mandalorian, okay? And the last game we got where you gotta play as a Mandalorian came out in the early 2000s. And right now, I'm getting more of a Star Wars experience with Starfield and mods that I can get on the Xbox version than I am with any Disney video game that they are producing, which should be a sign of a bad indicator for Disney. Like, I'm getting my Star Wars fix off of a non-Disney product, and you can't sue them because they're fan mods. Okay, they're not making any money off it, so you can't do anything, Disney. But yeah, Starfield, I can literally fly around the galaxy, my own custom designed ship, doing bounty hunts, dressed as Mando from The Mandalorian. And I can also wield a lightsaber. Okay? I don't have to play as a rogue smuggler again. And I mean, look, I have some fun experiences where I'm doing that, but it's like I'm sick and tired of playing that one archetype role. And also, I mean, there's a couple other things, but like that was kind of the big thing that killed it for me. Some people are saying that it's going to be a woke game. I don't know. I haven't really investigated that much into it. All I know is I'm not interested. And so that's looking like it's probably not going to do that well for Ubisoft. And then the other thing is Assassin's Creed Shadows. And there's been some interesting developments. If you're not familiar with the whole debacle with Assassin's Creed Shadows, apparently when it was announced, a lot of people got upset that instead of having the first feudal Japan Assassin's Creed game starring, a Japanese guy, it stars a black guy named by the name of Yakusei. Now, I wasn't that offended by this because years prior to this game getting announced, I had heard about Yakusei, the Black Samurai. And when I was hearing about this, this can't be real. I'm reading through it, it's could we get a movie about this? This would be an awesome movie, having the same quality as Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. And, at the time I was thinking have Chadwick Boseman play him. Unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman passed away. May he rest in peace. But I was thinking, man, this would be a really awesome movie. And so when I heard that Assassin's Creed was going to have him as a playable character, I was like, okay, I personally would have had him as a third additional character or maybe DLC character, but you know what? I'm not that mad at it because I've always kind of wanted to see a retelling of Yakusei's story, preferably with something a little bit less historically inaccurate than Assassin's Creed, because the series has always taken a lot of liberties with historical figures and moments. And no, I'm not saying that about the magical orbs and whatnot. That's not what I'm talking about. There's literally moments in the games where it's this is so-and-so. He lived from this point to this point, and he is a slaver. And in reality, he was never a slaver. And it's just they just make up random shit and say it's history, and it's so infuriating. But still, I was slightly intrigued. But I personally was not going to get the game simply because I have over 9 Assassin's Creed games I haven't played yet. I have no business buying another Assassin's Creed game. So it's yeah, I mean, it looks interesting, but I'm not buying it simply because I need to stop buying stuff I don't play. And so maybe if I play all the Assassin's Creed games that I own, maybe I might eventually think about buying it, but until then, I have no business buying another Assassin's Creed game. And so, the backlash on this was massive. I mean, there was, petitions made in Japan of, don't release this in Japan because we don't want to play it. And there's people saying, Ubisoft, you need to stop this. They doubled down, and it just kind of got into this, bicker fest online with people saying this is going to be crap, and other people saying you're just being racist, and it's no, you're being racist for excluding Asian men. And so it's just the online discourse has been truly shocking. Thankfully, I have not really been a part of it. I threw out a couple of things, say yeah, I'm not getting it simply because I have no business buying another Assassin's Creed game. But there's been a recent development. Apparently, the guy who wrote the book on Yakusei, who basically is the guy who brought him to surface, apparently he made up 90% of the stuff he put in the book. Apparently Yakusei was a black guy, and he was sold into slavery into Japan, I think, or he was put into servitude underneath samurai elder, and that's all that's accurate. It's Grant, I don't know how much is accurate, but apparently him actually going into battle is bullshit. Him wielding a samurai sword is bullshit. I don't know if it is or not, but that's the accusation. However, it doesn't look good when the guy who wrote the book on Yakusei has been kicked out of the college, and all of his works have been removed from this one specific college because it's just yeah, no, it's obvious you made a lot of this shit up. So it'll be interesting to find out how much is true, how much isn't. But apparently, the development thing is because of this, there's a chance Japan might sue Ubisoft. And much like Egypt sued Netflix because they depicted Cleopatra as black instead of Greek. And I didn't know you could sue entertainment company over misrepresenting a historical figure, but Egypt's doing it, and apparently Japan is looking at maybe doing it for Assassin's Creed Shadows. I guess their way to see how offended they might be at Assassin's Creed Shadows. It could be like, yeah, you know what? It's not that offensive. It's just this arcadey game where you could just go around find stuff. But if they actually try claiming certain historical elements are true, which knowing Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed, they're going to try claiming that certain historical elements are true that are flat out not, I guess that'll be grounds for Japan to sue them. I didn't know countries could sue entertainment groups for misrepresenting historical characters, but apparently you can in certain quantities, and so that'll be interesting to see. This could be the most disastrous year for Ubisoft. I don't know. They might get lucky and have a success with Star Wars Outlaws, and there's enough of a fan base that might buy enough Assassin's Creed. Like, Assassin's Creed has a fan base. A fan base of loyal fans that are going to just buy every chapter regardless if they like it or not. So, I don't know. Ubisoft might get lucky and have a good year. But some of the evidence on the wall suggests otherwise. Now, in other news of companies not doing well, Sweet Baby Inc. is apparently struggling. They released a game a while back that called Sao something, and I guess only 6 people played it. And then the developer said, well, the only reason why this failed was because of extreme racism. And it's like, yeah, or the fact that no one played it. I mean, there's some game, I haven't played any NBA games. That doesn't mean I'm racist. It just means I'm not into basketball. I think that's kind of a jump to say that, oh, well, I mean, you didn't play this, so you're racist. I mean, the new Prince of Persia game, I think, sold pretty well, and that stars a black guy. Actually, I think, looking at Sal and the new Prince of Persia game, I think a lot of people just saw the Sal game as a knockoff of Prince of Persia, so that's probably why they didn't play it. It's just, I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. I'm just someone who talks into a camera on the internet. But this new game they had, Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn. Admittedly, this is from the 19th. So it's a couple days old. These numbers might have changed. But apparently the all-time peak of players was 469 people. Not 469,000, not 469,000, 469, period. That's bad. 1,000 would be bad. Yeah, no. That's not good. That really isn't good. And apparently, they're laid off members of this development team, and it's already on sale, which is really a bad sign. Even a huge AAA game like Suicide Squad didn't go on sale until a couple weeks after. But this went on sale a day after it came out. And so that's another game destroyed by Sweet Baby Inc. And yeah, I can't wait for that company to go under. I mean, just the most vile human beings you can imagine work for that company. And they don't care about making a good story. They care about political activism. And they care about story third. I don't know what they care about second, but it's not story. I've seen a couple of these Sweet Baby Inc. games. It's just yeah, the story is dog shit in this. And so I'm just hoping that they go under before the Wonder Woman game gets re-announced, because I really want to play Wonder Woman so bad, but not if Sweet Baby Inc. has some claws into it. And I'm seeing reports right now They have the clause into it. So I'm really hoping that they go bankrupt before Wonder Woman makes a comeback, because I really want to play Wonder Woman, but I don't want to give any more money to Sweet Baby Inc. I mean, yeah, no, there's terrible people that work in that company. But this is a good segue into like the whole live service thing dying. I mean, live service is dying. You look at like Push Square put out a poll asking people, are you playing the Concord open beta? There was about 1,251 votes on this before I took the screen grab, and only 12% said, yeah, we're doing it. 8% said, yeah, I'll probably give it a try. 4% said maybe. 10% said, nah, I'm busy. And 65% said, no, I have zero interest in Concord. Did you play the Concord Early Access Beta last weekend? No, 74% said no, I didn't play. Like, this game is looking like it's going to crash and burn. And mainly because people are sick and tired of live service games. The people who are into live service games, they are spoken for. They are already committed to a live service game. There was only a finite amount of live service gamers. And they're all spoken for. I don't think there's any more live service gamers out there. They're like, you know, I'd love to get a live service, but just the perfect game hasn't come along yet. They don't exist anymore. They're all spoken for. They're in Fortnite. They're in Call of Duty, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. They're in Destiny. They're already spoken for. And another Overwatch knockoff is not going to pull them away. Okay, and this is just a blatant Overwatch knockoff. The knockoffs never survive. Look at Foam Stars. Foam Stars was just a blatant knockoff of Splatoon. And it is dead. Absolutely dead. The only live service games that will actually work now are ones with a unique thing that people haven't seen before. Kind of like Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 kind of did something that had been done before, and people loved it, and it took off. And it's really popular now. And it's like, yeah, because they did something that wasn't being done already. And you look at this, Concord, it's just doing Overwatch. There's nothing unique about it. It's just doing Overwatch with less interesting looking characters. And no one's interested. And so, I mean, I say bravo. I can't wait for these live service games to suffer a terrible death so that they can get what they deserve. Because I'm sick and tired of seeing good studios waste their time on live service games. Like, Fair Games is a waste of Jade Raymond's talents. I mean, she has such a great pedigree of games under her belt. She should be working with Amy Hennig on her, Captain America Black Panther game. That game looks awesome. I'll play that game. It looks really cool. It's being made by Amy Hennig, who, made the Uncharted games. It takes place in the 1940s, and you get to play as Captain America and Black Panther. And it's like, yes, please. But, Jade Raymond's Fair Games looks like dog shit. And it's going to be an online-only, live service game. It's like, no. I don't even want to touch that game with a 10-foot pole. It looks terrible. Like, Jade, you're better than this. Now, a while back, Microsoft shut down Arcade Austin. I believe it was Austin. And then Tango Gameworks. And there was a couple other things they shut down, but those two were the ones that really stung. A lot of people kind of could understand shutting down Arcane Austin simply because they came out with Redfall. Redfall was a massive disappointment. And it's okay, that one kind of makes sense. But Tango Gameworks made absolutely no sense because they released an absolute banger, Hi-Fi Rush. It was not my cup of tea, but I could appreciate that it was a very well-beloved game. It did pretty well sales-wise. It increased Game Pass subscriptions to an extent. And like Xbox said, yeah, we like Tango Gameworks, we want them to stay with us, and we want more smaller individual experiences like Hi-Fi Rush. That last part they said a day after they shut down. And like people are still trying to figure out why they shut down Tango Gameworks. Some people said, well, because the original creator wasn't there anymore. That wasn't it, because they were still doing good games. And plus it gave them a foothold in the Japanese market. They desperately wanted to be able to have games made in the Japanese market for Japanese gamers. But then this report came out weeks after they shut down Tango Gameworks. And it kind of had me go like an aha moment. Xbox Series X and S appears to have passed 600,000 units sold in Japan. Most of them being to Series S. The Xbox Series X sold 285,014 units, and the Series S sold 315,431 units. So, that's surprising. So, they don't even have 1 million units in Japan. So, because of that, there's not really a presence in Japan. And Xbox, they were probably thinking, okay, look, no one really is wanting us in Japan, and we're not really selling that well in Japan, but we are paying for a studio in Japan and Japanese staff. And they probably asked themselves, why? If we're not selling in Japan, why do we need a Japanese studio anymore? Sure, they said they wanted one, but if they were selling that low, I'm not saying this is why they shut them down. I'm just saying I can now see a plausible reason why they would have shut down Tango Gameworks. Because, yes, they sell games all around the world, okay? It's not like they only sell to Japan, but the cost of having Japanese employees at a Japanese development studio overseas probably is pretty high. And so, like I said, I think this could be the reason why. I'm not saying this is the definitive reason why Tango Gameworks was shut down. And that still stings because Evil Within 2 was such a phenomenal game. Now, in other news, there was a hack that happened at Disney a few days ago. And a lot of information was taken from Disney. A lot of information got hacked, leaked, whatnot. And one of the things that leaked online was documents talking about a rumored sequel to Aliens Fireteam Elite coming in 2025. If you didn't know, I'm a huge Alien fan. Yeah, so I did a review for Aliens Fireteam Elite. And I had a lot of fun with it. And I'm currently actually working through the expansion pathogen right now. But yeah, no, this was a cool game. Like, my biggest criticism was that they didn't offer a first-person mode like they did with World War C. Because while it's a different company, it's the same type of gameplay mechanic styles. It's you and like a couple of characters surviving against hordes of enemies like flooding in on you. You hold these two games up side by side. They're like the same games. Just one has zombies, one has xenomorphs. And so like when reviewing this game, I saw that someone did like a mod to have this game work in first person, and it was just like, please, Cold Iron Studios, for the love of all that's holy, please give us a first person mode in this game. It would be so amazing. And they haven't done it yet. They kind of actually stopped updating this game. I mean, there's a couple like bug updates I get every now and then, but they aren't offering a new like gameplay mechanics or whatnot. They're kind of done supporting this game outside of like bug fixes, which is fine because it was a successful game. I had fun with it. It did well, obviously, because apparently they're working on a sequel. And like right now, this leaked document it has it where it's called Project Macondo. Supposedly it's coming out Q3 of 2025. Genre is action, platforms, PC, PlayStation, Xbox. Not specifically PS5 or Series X. I would assume those consoles are still going to be here. Demographic 18 plus, release worldwide. Project Macondo is a new chapter in the Aliens Fireteam Elite third-person co-op shooting saga that improves upon the mechanics, atmosphere, and excitement of the original. Fight through an epic new story campaign with a squad of 2 AI companions or live players. That tells me that we'll be able to play it offline again. So thank you, Cold Iron Studios. Play as a member of Dagger Company, a battalion of Spec Ops Xenomorph hunters, each with unique abilities and weapons. Engage in a diverse array of gameplay scenarios, including NPC interactions, alternate paths, navigational challenges, and clue findings. Compete with evolved enemy intelligence and behaviors. Challenge yourselves in Annihilation mode, a new spin on Horde mode with a variety of objectives and encounters. That's about all that was kind of leaked for that. And I'm here to say, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see a sequel for Fireteam Elite. I had a lot of fun with it. I think they did a good job. And they definitely did a good job with, like, having it feel set in the universe. The only thing they didn't really do an amazing job on was the story, but that was intentional. They didn't want it to feel like you have to watch this, or you have to play this to be able to enjoy anything else. They intentionally threw in a so-so story just so you could have an excuse to kill aliens. And it's like, okay, honestly, with that, I get it. I don't blame them, and I've been having a lot of fun getting back into Aliens because of the Pathogen DLC. And so, with that being said, I said I was going to be talking about my plans for Alien Romulus and Alien content. I got a lot coming, okay? So yes, I do have the DLC review of Aliens Fireteam Elite Pathogen. It's the story DLC that they sold, and I'm currently playing through that right now. And that will be out sometime in the future. I don't know when. It could be before Alien Romulus, I'm not sure. But then, I am also working on playing through Alien Isolation. And I'm trying to get that campaign done before seeing Alien Romulus, because the director of Alien Romulus, Fede Alvarez, he had stated that the world of Alien Romulus will more closely match Alien Isolation, because Alien Isolation takes place 5 years before Romulus. And the other thing is, he said that Alien Isolation was a huge inspiration and influence on the creation and the filming of Alien Romulus. So I kind of want to go through that, plus to see if there's any kind of hat tip to Alien Isolation, or if there was like any reason why I'd have to play that before seeing this movie. I don't think that's going to be the case, because I don't think every Alien fan has played Alien Isolation, and it'd be a little weird to release a movie that's set between the first and second film, and you have to play a game to be able to follow it. That just doesn't really seem like a logical decision by that director to make, so I'm not expecting to see any direct connection with that. But that being said, I am working through playing through Alien Isolation right now, and I will eventually get a review out for that. I don't know if I'll have the review out for that before Alien Romulus. I don't think I will. I think that review will come out after Alien Romulus, because that date is coming up very quickly. And that date is August 15th. Now you're probably thinking, August 15th? I thought it came out the 16th. And you would be right. But the thing is, I'm going to a special fan event that's being done by AMC Theaters that's happening the night before. Funny enough, the fan event is not the first showing. They actually have an earlier showing at 3 in the afternoon, but it doesn't. It's not the FanFit. The FanFit, you get like a little pin and you get a Wayland Yutani patch. They're stupid, but like I've established before, I'm a huge Alien fan, and I absolutely want to get all of the memorabilia I can. Hell, if I knew of an Alamo Draft House near me, I would probably go there to get the special collector's cup that they're selling at Alamo Draft House. But like, yeah, they're doing 2 separate theater buckets at AMC and Regal, and I plan on the 15th to hit both theaters to get both Alien Romulus popcorn buckets. One is of a face hugger on the outside of it, and the other one is an actual alien head. The AMC theater has the face hugger one, which it does look cool, but like the one I really want is the alien head. So I'm going to try and stop off at a Regal theater before I go see Romulus just to get the head, because those limited edition popcorn buckets sell out rather quickly. So, especially the cool looking ones. Like the standard ones, it's like I've seen those last about a week or two. But like, yeah, like the Ghostbusters popcorn bucket I got, that was out like by week's end. Like those did not last. And so I was glad to get one of those. But so yeah, I plan on seeing Alien Romulus on the 15th, and then the day after, like the morning after, I'm going to get up early, do the filming, and then just work non-stop on that, and I'm going to try and get the review out Friday night. If I'm not lucky, it'll be out like Saturday night, but I'm going to try my hardest to get that review out Friday night. And yeah, that'll basically be kind of my plan for the Alien content down the road. So Pathogen, and then Romulus, and then I will probably do the review for Isolation, and then I even have a couple other like Alien movies and games that I might do down the road. I already did a retrospective of the first Alien film because I had seen that at the theaters, and so yeah, definitely the playlist of Aliens, Predators, and Terminators is going to fill up in the next coming months. Now, if you want to make God laugh, tell him all about your plans. Like, I planned on, where is it? Yeah, I planned on playing Halo Infinite, like, super fast, because I got it on, like, the opening week of it coming out, and I've yet to review it. So, I played it, but I played it at a time when I wasn't capturing video as I played, so I didn't capture anything, and then when I started capturing video, I was like, well, I should capture video on this, but I don't feel like playing this again, and I kind of overshot. I will do a review of Halo Infinite at some point. It needs to be when I decide to replay the campaign again, and, so, yeah, anyway, did I get everything? Yeah, I think I got everything. So yeah, that's basically been this week's episode of the Console Wars podcast. Our 300th episode. It's been a wild ride, and we probably will keep doing like a special call out for each 100th until we reach 1,000, and then after 1,000 we're just going to do it every other 1,000. So like, we're not going to do 1,100. It'll just be our 1,000th episode, and then after that it'll be our 2,000th episode, you know. So we're just kind of doing the fanfare for the first hundreds, you know. But anyway, so yeah, that's been this week's episode of the Console Wars podcast. My name's Christopher Carl, the Limited Reviews, and that will be all for today.